You're now listening to FBA on the Water, where two e-com business owners come to chat with everyone about Amazon FBA and other online businesses, turning everyday people into million-dollar business owners. Now, your hosts, Nate Flips FBA and Lucky Flips.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 12 of FBA on the Water. One of your hosts here is Zach, and say co-host, but we're both hosts.
Nate Flips FBA. What's up, guys?
Let's go. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing well. Me and Nate coming on here today to talk a little Q1 recap. With it being, well, today is March 30th, but by the time anyone listens to this, it will be officially the end of Q1. So we're going to kind of go over our first quarter ones here as Amazon sellers, talk about some of the pros, some of the cons, what we've learned, and kind of just how to adapt after a busy Q4. So start it off here. Nate, overall, start from the 30,000 foot view. How was your Q1 overall?
Overall, I think we're still making a lot of good progress as a whole in the FBA business. Still running like 90-95% OA. I know we had talked probably in previous episodes how we both like the idea of wholesale and private label. So Q1, I've definitely laid a little bit of groundwork for getting into both of those, wholesale and private label. So still developing those systems and relationships. But yeah, overall Q1's not as good as I wanted it to be, but we're still making progress. So that's the biggest point.
Yeah, definitely. I agree 100%. I mean, January hit hard. I know we both really didn't buy enough inventory to combat the returns of January because we kind of like sold out in December and late December. January hits, you're getting return after return, refund after refund, and it's kind of like you're just trying to play catch up all month. Like, I mean, definitely a learning experience and something you can combat by buying more stuff. And overall, though, I still had a good January. Wasn't what it could have been if the return rate wasn't like 20%, upwards of 20%.
Right.
So that was a huge learning curve for me, just to kind of start the month. And then, like Nate said, we're trying to get into wholesale here more and more. We attended ASD in Vegas. That was more towards the end of February, early March, but that's kind of when the wholesale journey really kicked off for me. I wasn't doing too much prior to, other than like using websites like Wholesale Central and going through their supplier list of like who they have. And like I feel like it's kind of steps you need to take in order to like progress in wholesale, is like start with those like real low tier suppliers and hit them up, and they're like, yeah, let's do business. They don't care, they let anyone in, so there's no competition. But then you're looking at them starting to realize like, man, like a lot of this stuff isn't really going to sell well. It's either private label products that they're somehow getting their hands on and they're trying to make a quick buck on Amazon sellers. And I don't know, there's a lot of lessons to be learned in that. And when you're fresh to the game, like you and I feel like kind of necessary evil that you have to kind of go through to figure things out. But
yeah, I completely agree. Like same thing with like OA, like going through the weeds of manual sourcing all these websites and coming up with maybe like a handful of leads after 20 hours or whatever, like going through all these wholesale suppliers and striking out on all these products that, they're advertising. So you'd think, they would be marked at the right price, or, if they're targeting Amazon sellers, you'd think they'd, be priced accordingly. But a lot of the time, all these, one-off wholesale distributors that you find, for whatever reason, like their products just don't work. Like stuff's IP
Yeah.
heavy, or it's terribly priced, or it's private label. I mean, there's a whole list of bad things about them, but once
Yeah.
you get through that, then you're like, okay, well, all right. So now I know like all these big wholesale guys and girls, like they're not using these people, so I need to find the people that they use or similar people,
Yeah.
company, brands, all that.
Which requires a lot more work than using like a wholesale central and going through it and being like, I'm gonna find a supplier today, hit them up, get an account, place an order tomorrow. This is gonna be fast moving like OA, where there's no real comparison to OA when it comes to wholesale, especially timing wise. Like everything's gonna be taking longer, at least from my experience so far. I'm sure once we do acquire better suppliers and maybe get some brand direct stuff going here in the near future, that things will probably go more smoothly. Well, things will go more smoothly, but for now, it's that, like I said, the necessary evil of going through the junk suppliers and maybe getting no's from some bigger suppliers that you want to get see a catalog and you want to work with. And I actually got no'd from a supplier local to me before ASD. And so it was like the beginning of February. I got a hard no, reach back out in a year. And that was just from completing their like pre-approval survey. So they'll ask you a bunch of questions. Business, what's your LLC, EIN, projected monthly revenue, or what is your monthly revenue, and then projected monthly spend, all this stuff. And for some reason my criteria didn't meet. Oh, how long you've been in business? That's the criteria that probably didn't meet it because I said it was under a year. So a couple months later, I reworked my pre-approval application and kind of just said, yeah, I've been in business over a year and yeah, getting close, but not quite. And then they approved me and I had such high hopes and they sent me a catalog with 20,000 SKUs and going through it, it's like, oh God, like none of this is like, we're talking like 5%, 10% ROI before shipping, like before returns, before all the Amazon stuff that you got to deal with. So I did have high hopes, but now my hopes are kind of dropping more and more as I go, but it's part of the game going through it,
Yeah,
wholesale wise anyway.
yeah, and that's probably why a lot of these people also say that all you need is like a couple good suppliers, and
Yeah.
that's what they run their whole business on, really, is, two, three, maybe five suppliers. Once you get as big as like Amazon Lit, maybe he has like 8, 9, 10 suppliers, but for the most part, it seems like you really just need to get like 2 to 4 suppliers that can give you, 20 to 50 SKUs that you can sell every month, and you just keep building that reputation with them, that you're going to keep buying and they're going to keep counting on the sales, because at the end of the day the suppliers got to make their orders, and it'll, as you keep working with them, they're going to base their orders with the parent company based off of like Zach and I's orders. So you need to
Yeah.
just keep that consistent.
Yeah. The more we buy, the more they buy, and the more money we both make. That's
Yeah, yeah,
that's that's all part of it.
yep. So I think some of the stuff that didn't go that great, like we were kind of talking about, January returnuary, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that was definitely, it's our first time going through it, so it was like, holy crap, like we're getting like a couple hundred returns like on the month, and I'm used to less than 100 every month. So that was something different, which is something we'll know moving forward for next Q4. That January we're gonna have a ton of returns. People just return gifts like they don't want them, they don't fit, anything like that. Um, and just, be prepared and maybe buy a little bit more inventory in December, so you're planning ahead for January.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's like how you're going to combat that. I did pull up on Seller Board the sellable, because I just printed out the P&L with for everything that I sold prior to December 31st to give to the accountant to do taxes and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I took a peek at some of the numbers here, and it gave you the return percentage and all that information that's highly valuable for your business, regardless of what stage you're at in your business. Seller Board is a huge tool. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of all of the implementations that you can use with it. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. I know Nate has a link in his bio, and
Yeah.
yeah. So link in bio on Instagram. Nate Flips FBA Seller Board. Get on. But yeah, it gives you your sellable return rate. So it'll show you like your refunds, your returns, and then what portion of your returns were resellable and what portion wasn't. So for all of 2022, all of 22 that I sold, so September to December 31st, it said my sellable return rate was 72.5%. So that's really, so about 3/4 of my returns went back to my inventory to be sold again.
Mm.
So I looked at that and I was like, man, like, so maybe like really not that bad, but I'd be interested to see what January looks like. I don't have that number right now, so I'm not gonna pull it up yet.
Yeah, that's a huge plus though, like that one, returns can be sellable again, and two, you're getting the data that shows you like what you can, make from those returns and what's going to be counted as a loss. That's going to get shipped back to your house and you got to pay for that, or you pay Amazon to dispose of it. So either way, you're going to have to pay. Um, but if you get it shipped back to your house, you know, chances are you could receive a return that may not have actually been like your product that you sent in. It could be someone else's that they still deem to be unsellable, but it's actually in like new condition. So you could either sell it back on Amazon, eBay, locally, or donate. I mean, there's a ton of options for that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have bins of unsold inventory that got returned to you, definitely try the Walmart, try the eBay, but an easier, more like direct option is going to like your local consignment store and just dropping it off. And I haven't personally done it yet, but we know people that do, and it seems like they're pretty happy with it. Maybe they don't make all their money back, but you get more money back than if you have totes of it sitting in your basement or in your garage somewhere, just collecting dust.
Yeah, absolutely. So to talk a little bit about the private label front, just to
Yeah,
change
definitely
subjects
touch on
a
that.
tad bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
so probably December, January, kind of had like just a random idea. I was reading reviews on some products and people were not complaining, but they're like wishfully thinking of new products similar to the one that I was looking at. So, you know, me kind of taking a shot in the dark, I was like, oh, well, let's see like what it would cost to make that exact same product, different variation under a new brand and all that stuff. And to break down some of the like numbers financially, new LLC, Massachusetts, it's $500. So $500 out the door forever. Um, Manufacturing costs, I used Alibaba. I know AliExpress, all those other um, foreign manufacturers can do a lot of really good products and like real quality products just for like pennies on the dollar compared to like US made. And some of the times, or most of the time, you can't even make some of the stuff in the United States. Like the manufacturing just doesn't exist anymore. So hit them up, got quotes from 5 different suppliers, or maybe 4. Yeah, probably 4 suppliers. Only one of them like was like on the ball responding and like showing me like other products they've made and their website and all this stuff about their business, their company that they work for. So I ended up going with them, sent them over all the information I could as far as like schematics, what the product is, what I needed to do, all like everything. And it took them about a week or so to design a just like give me like some computer like generated designs on it, and then look through it, do all the revisions. It's a lot of going back and forth, and it is a slow process. So um right now, as we stand today, they've made the prototype or the samples. There's 2 variations of the product, so they made 3 samples of each color or variation, whatever. And they've made a custom packaging for the product. And then today they sent me like some videos of like the whole package. Basically, they're unboxing it pretty much. And so from here, there's a couple more fixes I asked them to do. The packaging was a little too big. I wanted it to be a little slimmer. It'll be better for shipping because if they have to ship 1,000 of these things over, having that little bit of space, I mean, will compound a little bit. I'm not too worried about the cost, to be honest, but I do like the final product to be like really good. So there was that. There's a couple misprints. It's one of the words was spelt wrong on the label, and and also on the packaging, some of the color was mixed up. But I mean, overall, it's been a good experience. It's been about like a month and a half, or maybe 2 months since the start of this, maybe 2 months. So we're kind of in the final stretches. I did look into doing like the trademark, but I I guess you don't have to do it right away. It's also like a pretty heavy expense. So that's the trademark was going to be $1,250. That's to have, a lawyer draft up the documents and all that stuff. And the more I looked into it, I don't know if the trademark was the necessary step as much as like the copywriting of it. It's something I'm still looking into. I don't know a whole lot about that, but yeah. So to wrap that big rant up, um, costs it's been about 500 for LLC. I think 1,700 for the manufacturing of the mold and samples. $70 for them to do the packaging samples. And next step will be to do the full production, which I believe is like $1.20 a unit. And then it'll be the shipping cost to ship that over here. And we're gonna go with the direct to FBA route. So hopefully these samples come into me, in the next week or two, and they're good. We ramp up production and everything is shipped and hopefully landed in Amazon in the next month.
There you go. Sounds like you're all in for like under $3,000 too, as of now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like you're all in on your first private label project for under 3,000. I mean, after production, I don't know how many units you're planning on ordering, but we'll say 1,000, like another 1,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still keep you under $4,000, all in on a new idea, completely unknown territory. That is private label, So
Yeah.
you're getting a good test in for it for under under $5,000, which is definitely doable for people with ideas for
Yeah.
products that maybe they're thinking about something, they want to start a private label gig, and they're thinking the cost is going to be so extreme, like we're not talking tens of thousands of dollars, like maybe a few grand to get something going and
Yeah.
learn
Literally.
the process.
Like I wasn't too sure what it was going to cost because I knew like the mold for this product because it's a silicone, item. I wasn't too sure on like what that was going to cost because um as far as I knew, like molds for, injection molding machines were like expensive, high ticket items. And once I got the cost, I was like, okay, this is kind of doable. So let's keep going. Let's keep feeling it out. And yeah, I think, under 5 grand to launch a whole new brand and product, like that's very doable. You could do that after, you do OA for, like I did 6 months. You just save a little bit of money each month, a couple percent of your profit, a couple $100, and next thing you know, you have money to spend on something new to kind of take a higher risk, but private label is high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
And hopefully, once we're launched, we'll have more updates.
Yeah, I mean, even if so, say you like quick math here, but say you're all in 4 grand on the project and you get 1,000 units for your first production order. That's like $4 a unit, and you
Mm-hmm.
sell, and you make 20, $30 a unit selling it. Like, I mean, that's the potential anyway. It's like you got to figure out where your price is going to be at and stuff. But I mean, even if you make $10 and um, $10 a unit and you sell out in a month or two, like that's a huge win. Definitely higher risk, but I think you're still sitting pretty
Yeah.
based based on
So
the margins with private label anyway. And I mean, we can touch on it a little bit, but I haven't really took a deep dive into PPC coupons, like running ads on Amazon and stuff. But that's going to be key for you when you start this, because when people look up this product, you're going to want it to be at the top of the page. So you will spend
yeah,
money in advertising. But even with OA and wholesale and stuff, like using PPC ad campaigns and coupons on listings, like it's a huge way to boost your sales. I mean, I had sale products I ordered in like January that I ordered way too many of. I sent them to FBA on a kind of a shitty listing, and I run PPC ad campaigns on the products at like 3 cents per click. And instead of getting 0 sales a day, I get like 3 to 5 a day just by running those ads. It cost me no more than $6 a day. And that's just to move through the inventory. Like, I know it's going to take a little longer because I made a pretty terrible buy, but instead of dealing with the removal, getting them sent back to the house, and either having them sit here, try to return them, which I think I'm well out of the return window now, so that wouldn't even be a thing.
yeah,
But it's easier to just try and get rid of them on Amazon. So, uh, yeah, pay-per-click ad campaigns, definitely look into them. There's a bunch on YouTube about it, but
yeah, yeah,
you can definitely ask me basic questions about it, but I don't know much into details as of right now. I'm looking to get more spun up on it here in the future.
yeah, yeah. I think that's definitely something we should keep learning about PPC, just because, some, even to bring it back to a little bit about wholesale, some of the products that we find are, their average sale per month may be like 150, 250, but think in wholesale terms, you got to buy a pallet of it, and if it's something small like deodorant, toothpaste, some sort of food, a
Yeah.
pallet could be like 1,000 units. So you might need to utilize some coupons or PPC campaigns to expedite that and to really get that 250 sales, or maybe double that if you can.
Yeah,
With those.
there's definitely room, like room to implement and utilize correctly. Like, I was watching a video like a week ago about using coupons, and people think coupons are bad because it's going to be underneath your um, like lowest sale price that you're trying to go to. But what you can do is move up your regular price and then add a like 5 to 10% discount coupon on there, bring it down. Amazon will favor, I don't know if this is 100% or not, but Amazon favors that buy box with the coupons more so than someone at that price already, because it looks, based on the algorithm, it gives it kind of a boost in buy box.
Hmm.
I I don't know if that's true with PPC, but I know it can make your listing look better if you have coupons on it, and bring you to the top of the page when people look up like degree deodorant that they want to buy, and it'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, this one's on sale for 5% off. They'll boost you up to the top. And if you're running PPC on it, you'll get the sponsor, Amazon sponsored on there. So it just makes everything look better to the buyers, the customers that are looking to buy and stuff.
Yep.
Definitely a
Yeah.
deep definitely a deep topic though. I mean, I feel like I'm out of my element a little bit, but we're just
It's
we're just we're just doing the shit here. That's all we're doing. Talking
yeah,
FBA.
exactly.
But
Going with the flow. But it sounds like that, like the coupons is almost like a package deal. Like you're getting the PPC and you're getting hopefully a buy box like favored percentage now. And if as long as you price it right, you're gonna get the price that you wanted if you were to just run PPC.
yeah, no, for sure. And like going into buy box statistics and stuff with Amazon, like I am so confused by that sometimes, because you hear people talk like, yeah, you're a veteran Amazon seller. You have thousands of reviews and you're like at 100% positive review. Me personally, I know I'm not 100% positive review. I have like hardly 20 reviews, like just under 20. And like I'm still winning buy box over some of these people that have thousands of reviews on some products. Sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. Then I might have to undercut to get the buy box and let the repricer do its thing. But some listings I'll be priced competitively with other sellers that dominate the buy box, and I'll still make my sales. So
Hmm.
I haven't really heard anyone give a good explanation as to the Amazon buy box algorithm and how you win it and stuff. I've heard some, but it's like I need people to talk to me like I'm a third grader when it comes to that for some reason.
We'll have to call up Jeff, have him answer that, Mr. Bezos.
Yeah, seriously.
'Cause yeah, we get so much conflicting opinions on what the data is like expressing.
Yeah, and then I'll see a dude with 20 reviews and he's got like 30% positive reviews and he's got the buy box. I'm like, how is it, like, man, I'm pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to be if you want to sell stuff, but
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. It's weird.
it is weird. But
You want to talk about ASD a little bit? Pros
yeah,
and
well,
cons you learned?
yeah, I'll drop some stuff on ASD. So yeah, Nate and I went to ASD together. We planned it a while back, like I want to say in January. And it was a mission to get there. Our flight got canceled. We had a layover in Chicago. And that's just a
Yeah.
funny fact. We had to like weasel our way to get there on time. But no big deal. So we made it, and first day we kind of were just going around freestyling to a bunch of suppliers, and we were kind of operating as an element, which we were talking about it in the hotel room later, and we kind of think that that might have helped us out in a way, because we weren't just like sole business owners walking around like looking like Amazon sellers. Like we both dressed nice and we operated as a team in a way. And so we never really got the, oh, you're an Amazon seller, like right off the bat. Like
Yeah.
it took like a couple minutes for that to kind of come out. So we got the convo started with just some, hey, how you doing? What do you guys sell? Oh, I like this. This looks cool. And then they'll go ahead and ask you after you've already interacted with them for 30 seconds to a minute. So you already have their attention, and then you say the Amazon seller thing, and they're like, oh, okay, like yeah, we knew a lot of you guys were going to be here, and so that kind of got our foot in the door. I think was work kind of tackling it together. Which if you're going to ASD as an Amazon seller, definitely recommend um, at least going with some buddies that you connect with online, meeting up in person. That was probably my biggest benefit from ASD. We met up with our small little network of dudes, But back to this, circling back to the supplier thing, like we got a lot of leads from ASD and reached out post show to a lot of them, emails, called a couple. We still get weekly price lists from one of our contacts that we met there, and it's definitely not really making any like breaking any ground yet, but I do still have hope, even though we're just about a month out from the show, that we will make some orders and find some good pricing that's gonna satisfy both business needs. But it's definitely not a you're guaranteed anything from going to the show.
Right.
Like that's probably my biggest con was in my head going. I'm like, all right, all we need is 2 to 4 good suppliers. We're gonna be set for the rest of our lives. Remove that from your thought process because it's just gonna be kind of a little wasted energy. Like you need to go into it thinking like you're just there to network and talk to people, and then you'll get those leads. Like don't be thinking money signs when you're in there unless you're like ready to place orders on the spot, which that's something we slept on a little bit because I do think if we had more of that mindset going in, like talking to suppliers and being like, all right, yeah, we want to place an order right here, right now, then we could have raised some eyebrows and maybe built better relationships from it. But it was our first go. Like we're really just getting our feet wet and figuring out how to navigate the show as a retailer because I mean I've been to a couple shows before, well one show as an exhibitor, and it's definitely different being being the retailer, being the consumer that's there trying to gain the contacts from as many people as you can. But
Right.
yeah, that was a kind of a long rant. But moral of the story: go to ASD with intentions to network with people, especially your friends that you talk to that also sell on Amazon, because there will be a lot of people there. And if you don't have friends that sell on Amazon that are going to ASD, then you need to hit them up on Instagram and friggin' make some because
Yeah.
it's been a huge bonus.
Yeah.
But
I definitely agree with like everything you said. Um, not like going in thinking like you're gonna like make these baller friggin' wholesale deals. I
yeah,
mean, ASD, I don't think from our first experience at least. The second experience, third experience might be a lot different, but the first experience, I didn't have that feeling. But moving forward, we do have some better strategies with going to trade shows, and we actually have another at least 2 trade shows to go to this year. So we'll be able to, implement those new tactics and strategies to, break down barriers like what we did in the ASD work, like walking around together and just, saying we work together, but we're not the same company, we're different entities, like stuff like that. Just so people know, like you're dealing with 2 businesses. It's not me and Zach together. It's 2 businesses, like stuff like that.
yeah,
Like not only did it like boost our confidence in talking because like we're right next to someone we really know, like it's easy to talk now, like versus you and the 3 sales reps that are right in front of you, like it's a little different. um
yeah. It reduces the intimidation factor, especially if you're brand new to trade shows. Like
yeah,
just having a buddy there with you is like reduces intimidation, makes you a lot more comfortable. Like Nate was saying.
yeah. But yeah, I definitely recommend trade shows if you're looking into wholesale or private label, or both. Go to trade shows, walk around, talk to people. I did see some people that just walked and didn't really talk at all. I was like, all right, well,
Yeah,
not getting anything out of it, but if you're gonna go and spend money to travel somewhere, like get as much out of it as you can.
it's a business expense too, man. Like you don't
Yeah,
like none of this comes like you're go to ASD in August because it's a business expense that gets you to Vegas for a few days, and you can, especially if you've never been, highly recommend walking around, checking stuff out. And I do think timeline for trade shows as well, especially being a retailer. If you create your plan prior to going, which that consists of looking at the exhibitor list prior to even buying your plane ticket and getting everything set up, to narrowing down the distributors that you know you want to talk to and looking at their website, reaching out via email, making those contacts. I know people have said this before, and I'm just reiterating, and I 100% agree, but do the pre-work to the trade show, something I neglected, and map your show out before you even show up, because that is going to save you so much time. You don't need to be there 9 hours a day. Like, even being there 3 to 4 hours a day is going to kind of wear on you because you're walking around. There's not many places to sit. So yeah, map it out before, and you only really need to be there 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe. And if you want to go hard for one day and do like 8, 9 hours, knock everything out, and then enjoy your next 2 days, probably doable.
Yeah.
And like, that's definitely a note, because I was anticipating being there for 9 hours, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, whatever. And that's really not the reality of it. Like, you can knock a lot of stuff out, because the conversations you're going to have, most are going to be 5 to 10 minutes long. Some may be longer, but I mean, just do that simple math. Like, you can have 10 conversations in like 50 to 100 minutes. Like, that's not that much time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
But
Can't agree more.
yeah, I mean, enough about AST. If you have any more direct questions, hit us up on Instagram for sure. We'll be happy to answer. But
Yep.
want to jump into some Q2 goals here in the next 3 months?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
for
got
sure.
you got any jotted down?
I do not, but I can go off the rip.
Yeah, same.
Um, so past like past 2 weeks almost, I've been doing close to 15K spend a week, which is what I'd like to be doing. And then every month from there, I'd like to increase that by like 10 to 25%. That's kind of like not counting wholesale, because wholesale you gotta pump out, 10 to 30 grand an order. So that's completely separate. But yeah, I'd like to keep getting my spend up a little bit more, because that's going to directly impact sales and revenue monthly. But yeah, Q2, it's definitely like a systems generating quarter, I think, for me. Get everything in place so I can absolutely hit Q3, Q4 out of the park, and do more than double what I did last year.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's like it's a good month. Like, Q1's over. We're gonna start getting into some nicer weather here, so
Mm-hmm.
that'll be a change in especially if you do apparel. Like, you're gonna want to start gearing away from the sweatshirts, sweatpants. Like, more summer apparel is gonna start popping off a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, I remember we talked the end of Q4, like, about our 2023 goals, and we had both mentioned like 1.5 to 2 mil in sales. And um 3 months into 2023 right now, I'm sitting at just over 310,000 in sales. So
Ooh-wee.
yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
So I'm feeling like I'm on track to hit the upper number of the 2 mil. But that's a lot is going to dictate that. I mean, I know right now, like the end of March here, like, I'm feeling like I've slacked on spending the past like few days, so I need to ramp that up a little bit. But it's a constant battle of, did I spend enough or did I not? That's when you just got to look at the numbers and kind of gauge it out. But I do want to
Yeah.
leave room for opportunities with all these wholesale suppliers that I've been speaking to, just so ensure that I have the capital to comfortably put a bigger order in. I don't want to like max out the spend and then get hit with an opportunity that you can't proceed with because you don't have the money to.
Right.
So that's all just timing and credit usage and stuff you learn as you get into this FBA game. But yeah, I mean, goals for Q2. Oh, Q1, I quit my 9 to 5 job, so I'm full-time FBA right now. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was like a silent goal because I never really said it out loud, but I always thought it. Working for the family, I didn't want to disappoint anyone, but after some good conversations, I got the seal of approval to march forward with FBA. So stoked on that. Definitely Q2, the systems, the scheduling. Like I want to have a good daily schedule to where I'm getting some focus work in, like 3 to 6 hours a day, and also working out, enjoying myself. Not really. You don't really have to bend over backwards to do anything in Amazon, especially once you start doing it full time. You have good amount of time to get stuff done. When you're working full time and you're trying to get started Amazon, yeah, you got to bend over backwards. You got to pull some longer days. But after you already have some systems in place, it's more just refining and innovating new systems and just ensuring you're meeting your goals, spend wise, sales wise, and paying your bills. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, sounds good. And having that support too, like that you were talking about, of leaving the job, like that's going to be something that'll motivate you just as much probably as when, or maybe even more so than like sticking with like the family business and taking the torch or whatever, passing the torch. Like now you have kind of your own thing, and you have the support as well from the family. That's
yeah, it was definitely huge. Like just I was so nervous to spark the conversation. Started it 5 minutes in. It's like, yep, we're on board. We're all in. We get it. So it's like that was like a weight lifted off the shoulders for sure. And yeah, it's important for everything in life. Your family support. You spend a lot of time with your family, whether it be significant other, parents, siblings. Like the people you spend the most time with are people that you're really gonna need their support, and it's pretty crucial to doing almost anything in life. Having the support of your family, whatever family is to you. But
yeah, I think that might wrap us up, right?
Yeah, I'm good. That was a solid episode. Going over Q1 and touching on stuff we're getting done here in Q2.
If you watched the podcast, I hope you enjoyed my absolutely crazy flannel or fleece.
Yeah, absolutely baller sweater.
We're getting back into the podcast game, so we'll start doing probably once a week again. We'll keep this train going. Get some more guests.
Yeah, sorry for the brief pause. Q1 getting stuff set up, leaving the 9 to 5 job, that was key. Now we got much more time to dive into the content and the podcast and getting stuff done here. So we hope you enjoyed. Thanks for listening. Follow us on social media. Get the seller board link in Nate's bio. Come on, download it. Subscribe. Do the thing.
Like button.
Yeah, smash the like button. Subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Thanks for checking out another episode of FBA on the Water. Make sure you follow us on our YouTube channel at FBA on the Water, and follow us on Instagram at Nate Flips FBA and at Lucky Flips. See you next time.